Yeah, this is Canute Exploration. I'm Dr. Canute White, CEO of College Ready. Shellee Award talking to us about how you can get your children into college, or perhaps how you can get into college as a young adult, without damaging your mind, getting stressed or your pockets, right? So, Shellee, this thing about my students standing out, how will my students stand out in all this?
So the important thing right now with colleges being so competitive is teaching individual students how they can stand out. Students go about it, they pick a name of a school and then they try to guess what that school wants them to be like, and then they try to be that student. It never works out well because the college can see right through it that is genuinely not the student. So we do it different. We focus on helping that student be the best they can be. And then we find colleges that value their core values, value their leadership and their community service and all the other things. So we go with the mindset of just be you. Just be genuinely you, and we'll find you. There are thousands of colleges out there that would love to have students who just work hard, who are just willing to do the work.
Mm-hmm. So again, I know College Ready is in the United States. We're all here in the United States, but we want to spread College Ready around the world, right?
Yes.
Oh, well, maybe I've alluded to that, but I just keep pumping it because we want to spread this around the world, right? Or will you, with students from around the world, benefit from College Ready? What type of benefit can I get from you? Is it possible for me to come to the United States, hypothetically when I say, right, to come to the United States and go to college because College Ready was able to help me?
Yeah, so about 4 years ago, I decided to take the company international. And that's because I believe there's so much value in the diversity that brings. And the other part is my students here had relatives internationally, and they are like, well, I want help too. So I did it for two purposes. But yes, how I can help is I understand outside of the COVID thing, I understand what it takes to go both ways. I have students in the US that study abroad. I have students internationally that want to study in the US. And so we have an opportunity, and because we're based in the US, we have a lot of knowledge that maybe they just don't know what they don't know, and the steps it takes to get accepted into college. It's very different than it is in Australia or in South Africa or India. I mean, the process is insanely different. And so that's the value that I bring, is I know what it takes to have a student go both ways.
Right. Yeah, interesting. But before I look at the SAT and the app, I would like to ask you something. Yes, College Ready in two contexts I'd like to look at it. College Ready, the student being ready for college, but is the college ready for the student? Is the college ready for the industry? Is it using competency-based training? I like to say hats off to Excelsior Community College back in Jamaica. I'm starting to look at competency-based training, calling the industry to participate in the curriculum building process. What do you think? Are colleges ready?
That's a really good question. I think some are. I think some are still trying. I don't think they've mastered it yet. The world is changing, and I think the education has to change with it, or it's not going to serve our next generations. Technology has changed. I mean, online school 10 years ago, that would not even have been a thought. Like, we wouldn't have even. So to answer your question, I think some are, but not all.
Okay, fine. Fair answer. Fair enough answer. the SAT. We have this thing going, the SAT and the okay, let me get it there. Is taking the SAT or the optional? What's going on with that? Can I do either?
So the question people are asking right now is, should I take a test, the SAT or the ACT, or is it really test optional? And the way that we approach it with students is, if you can safely take a test, take a test. If you're a good test taker, take a test. If you can't do it safely for medical reasons, don't take the test. And if you're not a good test taker, it may not benefit you to show you're not a good test taker. So again, it comes down to the individual strategy of the students, where they're going to apply, what major they're going to apply to, and will they even need the test. But I will tell you, our students earned $10.7 million in scholarships this year, and every one of them submitted a test score.
Oh, cool. You see, these tests, we do that back in Jamaica. You know, I didn't do it because I started my higher education back in Jamaica. You know, I came to Florida and do my doctorate though. But the point is that the students in Jamaica, they're doing SAT, right? And in the ACT as well. But perhaps they might want to ask you, right? Yeah, it's either, but are these relevant any at all?
Yes. So most schools still find value. And what I mean is, on the college application, there's a box that says SAT. You can either put it in there and they're going to see it, or you don't put it in there and now they have one less thing to compare you by.
Okay.
So if somebody has a 36 ACT, which is the highest score, why would you not show them that? So yes, it's relevant and it can be hugely helpful, but it's only one of the 7 things that they're going to be judged upon. So it's not all or nothing. It needs to be, does it make sense for the student strategy?
Yeah. You know, this is important for me to ask you. College ready. What is the function of college ready as it relates? We know the general function, but do you help students to take the SAT and the other exams? Do you actually have classes online for them? What do you do?
That's a really great question. We do a lot. And I know our time is limited, so I'll hit the high points.
Right.
So basically, College Ready is independent college consultants. That's one area. So we help the student pick their classes, understand how much rigor, how much difficulty in classes, when to take them at their high school or at community college. Mm-hmm. Then we help them with their test strategy, when to take it, how many times to take it, which test to take.
Yeah.
Then we help them with their passion and purpose community service project.
Yeah.
And so we're helping them to understand how to make the change they wish to see in the world. And then we're helping them understand leadership and extracurricular and how to balance academic and social time. Then we help them to pick their colleges. We help them to pick their major. Then we help them to figure out what are the best essays to tell their story. What topic should I write about to get my message across? Cool. So then we're helping them with that. We're also helping the family with their FAFSA, their CSS profile, their expected family contribution, and the whole financial side of the academics. We help them interview. Bottom line is, everything that you can think of, we help the student be the best they can be.
College Ready. And you're
ready.
To Shellee Award, CEO of College Ready. And this is Dr. Kenute White and Kenute Exploration, your topic in the podcast. All those persons listening on their favorite podcast platform, Amazon, Apple Podcast, Spotify. We're with College Ready and Shellee Award. Shellee, GPA. What do I need in terms of GPA to go to those top schools? Those Ivy League thing. Yeah.
So for a student who wants to go to a top tier or Ivy League school, they need to take the most difficult classes and do well that they personally can. It is an individual thing. Not everybody is gifted in every subject. So I don't tell students they need to take every AP class or dual enrollment class, because they may be really good at English and not at math, or history and not at science. So in the areas that they're gifted at, the ones that come easy, they need to challenge themselves and show that the university, I like this, I'm good at it, and this is what happens when I put my mind to it.
Yeah.
So taking the individual and challenging them at the level that they're going to be successful, and then you find a college that can support them. Because otherwise, a student gets into a college and they're fighting for every A, and it is really hard on them.
Yeah.
And it may not be a good fit socially or financially. So the amount of hard work they put in is what colleges want, but they also want them to be successful at it.
Yeah, that's important. I doubt that, and being in academia myself, and lectured a lot, I doubt that colleges are not interested in students' academic achievement. They do, because it's a reflection on the college. Yeah, if I do not do well, it would be a reflection on the college that I attended, right? So it's important. Okay, that's fair enough. But how many AP classes do I need to take, and what are AP classes?
So AP classes are advanced placement, and they allow a student to get a bump in their grade point average if they do well. So if a student has an opportunity, and this is school by school, and internationally, they may not even offer it.
Okay.
So that's the challenge. In the US, AP classes are very important to the amount of rigor or making it a challenging academic year. The number is truly what the student can handle, right? If a student is really good at science, they can take APs in their science, but they may not do well in APs in other subjects. So it really has to be based on, we analyze this information based on the student, not on a generic, this is what you have to do.
Yeah. I before I go to my two final questions to you, tell me, is it that these classes, yeah, we know the AP classes and so on, but is it that these colleges, these students, they're actually participating in this? They want to do it, or they give up at times? What happened? What are you seeing?
So, well, prior to COVID, prior to online school, there are students who want to challenge themselves. Okay. I had a student that I had for 4 years who was in my program, and I would tell her, "Are you sure? That's a lot of work." And I would try to pull her back, and she's like, "But no, I want to." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I have other students who are maybe not as academic. Maybe their gift is athletics or music or the arts. And so for them, it's not the same love of academia. So for somebody who enjoys reading and who enjoys learning, I love to just let them go and expand and absorb it. The other ones who don't really like school but have to go, I try to make it as least painful as possible for them while still getting through high school and off to college.
Yeah, I'm an education freak. I believe that education, I think I'd said it to you, the only thing that we'll go to our grave with. I do not put my brain on the wheel. Nothing that I've learned on the wheel. I go with it. So what? It's a good investment, guys. Right, Shellee?
100%.
I agree. Tell me though, what are the best extracurricular activities to participate in for college? What do you suggest?
The student needs to find what they're gifted at. What is their thing? I remember when my son was younger and there was a young man playing soccer or football, they call internationally. And he came out at 3 years old and he was scoring goals all over the place. There is no doubt he should be playing that sport.
Right.
So extracurriculars, it's best if a student loves music, let them play the piano. If the student loves track, let them run track. There's not one better than another to get into college. It's whatever that student can be happy at to balance out their academia.
Yeah. Shellee, if you could say something, talk to a child now, be it here in the United States or anywhere in the world, in 30 seconds, what would you say to that child? Talking to that child personally, having a conversation.
Depending on the age of the child, for sure. Assuming that they could read, I would encourage them to pick up every book they can find. Pick it up and just spend time getting to explore the different genres, the different topics. The easiest way to learn is to pick up a book. And when a student falls in love with reading, their vocabulary increases. When their vocabulary increases, they do better on testing. When they do better on testing, they get into great colleges. So it all stems from that initial love of reading, makes a massive difference.
Yeah. And then stop typing LOL and
yes.
I know writers what? IKR and so on. Type the thing out, right? Yeah, use up that vocabulary. Your website, your Twitter, it's sort of jumbled here. Those persons watching, but tell us your Twitter and your Facebook, your Instagram. Tell us what they are.
So any social media, you can type in College Ready or College Ready Plan, and we will pop up. We've been doing this 13 years, so we've been on social media a very long time. I hate to share that. It kind of makes me feel old, but College Ready, we're very active. We post a ton of free information at no charge. You can join our private groups. You can join our pages. Please follow, like, and encourage us to share with you what you want. We want to post with what you need. So don't hesitate to say, I have a question about, raise your hand and ask the question.
Yeah. Shellee, say for instance, the school, as I say, I keep going back to Jamaica, school in Jamaica, high school in Jamaica, want to call Shellee and say, Shellee, can you send a representative down or, well, this is COVID. Can you do a Zoom so that my student, presentation for my student, tell me, is that possible?
Yes, and I would love to go back to Jamaica.
Cool. You should. You should.
Yeah, just call me. Give me a reason to come back to Jamaica. Yeah, I mean, this year I'm headed to the Mediterranean, Croatia, Egypt, and then I'll be back in Africa in February. So you call me, and I would love to come and support and help and really provide what is needed to get you to that educated level.
Yeah, and that's 949-235-7350. And it goes straight to you, I suspect, right?
Absolutely. That's my personal cell phone. It is in the US, so you would have to add a +1.
Okay, 1949-235-7350. Shellee, I should have asked you this before. What the cost that involved? What do we pay? What do you expect students, parents to pay college ready? So for anything, what's involved there?
So, like I mentioned before, we scholarship 2 people a year. And then from there, the next level is my book. And for somebody who's not listening and they hear about it, you can go on Amazon. I think it's 15 US dollars. From there, the more private one-on-one time, the money obviously goes up. But those are the two entry-level ways for people to learn at a reduced rate.
Yeah, I go on your Facebook page. I mean, it's it's fascinating. I mean, I love it. I really do love it. And I realized that college ready thing. Don't think I forget. You did that. You're very talented, right?
I did that. Yes, I did.
You're very talented, so besides being in management at College Ready, you also dabbled into other talents, other things.
Yeah, so I am the visionary, but I also have students because I love students. So as much as I enjoy the business part and sharing my message, I also really enjoy just laughing with the students and, dreaming. A lot of what we do is talking about their dreams and what they want for their future. And when they get into college, the first person they call is me. We just got in. I'm like, we did. I'm so excited. So I love my job or my career. And we have consultants all over the world. So it's not just me. I could never do this alone. I have a wonderful group of certified college consultants that are also a very big part of this journey.
Is there any in Jamaica that you have a consultant in Jamaica as well?
I don't. And it's not because I don't want one.
I know. Trust me. We talk about Jamaica and I know that you have this love for Jamaica.
Yeah. So, but with Zoom, we've been doing Zoom online calls for about 4 years, way prior to COVID. And so it made international help so accessible. Because I could get on a call like this with a student and be talking about what their day's like across the pond. And so I think that, anybody can be a client at this point.
Yeah. It's 5 o'clock there in where you're at, right?
I believe so. 5. Yep. We're real close to 5 p.m.
Yeah. And we're close to 8. That's the time we're having here. I keep having guests with time difference here. In Canada, I was 3 hours, and then I had somebody in Sydney. It was morning for them, and it was almost night for me. Oh boy, I tell you, but I'm good at it. And the funniest thing, we're both in the United States, and there's still this length of time difference, but that's okay. Shellee Howard. It's so nice talking to you and to hear about College Ready. I assure you that this will be spread through Ken Youth Exploration. And if feel free to call me up and say, hey, there's some new project. There's something else I'd like to share that is going on. And we're here to give you the opportunity as you continue to work with students and to believe in education, because I'm an advocate for education. I do anything to ensure that people are educated, not just youth, not just children, but adults, because I am an advocate, a freak in terms of education.
I like that. I like that. We need more of you in the world, for sure.
Yeah. Hey, so I thank you for coming, and it was nice talking to you, and we'll keep in touch, definitely.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope it helped families all over the world.
Yes, it will. We'll spread it. All right. Thank you, Shellee. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.